New Mexico's Urban Search and Rescue Task Force was kicked off the federal disaster response team when the feds caught them forging training certificates. Now the task force has one last chance to get back on that team and the millions in federal funding that come with it. Matt Grubbs is on special assignment.
When people are trapped in harm's way,
he said the road started collapsing.
The firefighters, engineers, and doctors from New Mexico Task Force 1 are supposed to be there. But after more than 2 decades of being part of the National Disaster Response Plan,
we are on pins and needles.
The team is a pen stroke away from losing federal support for good.
The task force continues to train. They continue to come in on weekends and weekdays and make sure they're ready.
The State Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management has appealed FEMA's decision to pull more than $1 million in annual funding. If the money disappears, so too does the chance to train. The team has members from across the state who take what they learn back to their departments and use it in local disaster situations. The state's not happy the task force could disappear.
They could have worked with us on our way ahead, our plans. We were already heavily into the corrective action plans.
In fact, the appeal letter sent by Cabinet Secretary Jay Mitchell at times borders on angry. You weren't groveling, for sure.
No, sir.
Why sort of take that tone with them to let them know that, hey, we don't think this was done in the proper fashion?
Because we don't. We were upfront and honest in that appeal about where we sit. We acknowledged our past problems.
The problems are fixable, Mitchell says, and the need to have a task force in New Mexico is clear.
When we start talking about major national assets in the state that have potential dangers, our national labs, our basing and everything else, this equipment would be vital as first responders.
If New Mexico's team disappears, the closest elite squads are in Phoenix, Denver, and College Station, Texas, hundreds of miles away from the state's labs, bases, and population centers. FEMA's never pulled a team from its disaster plan, and a spokeswoman told News 13 there's no timetable for the agency to decide the task force's fate.
If the state is successful with the appeal, it actually wants to turn over the task force as soon as possible to the Albuquerque Fire Department. That is where the team started in the 1990s.
Fire Chief David Downey says, and the state agrees, that the city is a better fit for the task force.
We're just a bit more agile and flexible in the city than they are in the state, so we can avoid some of the delays that come with the process involved in training and purchasing.
Just last month, the state delay cost AFD a chance to train.
There was an opportunity for some of the team members, I believe it was in Georgia, to travel, and we missed it.
The state thinks it has the problem fixed, and the city thinks it can make sure the team stays ready. There's no cost to Albuquerque, and Downey says the benefits are clear.
But the capabilities, just for example, the structural engineer that's associated with the FEMA team, the fire department has called the task force's engineer to help us assess local collapse hazards.
New Mexico thinks it has a strong case to keep its urban search and rescue team. All it can do now is wait to see if the feds agree. Matt Grubbs, KRQE News 13.
We'll continue to follow the task force's appeal. Matt has much more about the story on our KRQE app. You can read the state's appeal and see how our state's congressional delegation defended the team's presence in New Mexico.